active wins in Major League Baseball. They are 3-4. And on the mound, Chris Carpenter getting his 25th start.
Carpenter's been so good, Jay. 16-3, an incredible record for Carpenter, and he missed what 4 or 5 starts with that issue early on in the season, but he has just been lights out since the All-Star break.
A look at the defense behind Carpenter this afternoon. Holiday, Rasmussen, Ludwig, DeRosa, Ryan, Schumacher, Pujols, Molina doing the catching. Stepping in to lead off for Atlanta, Nate McLaughlin. He's 3 for 9 in the series. McLaughlin from Muskegon, Michigan, 27 years old. And McLaughlin drives one to right. Ludwig out there, under it. 1 pitch, 1 out. The umpiring crew today, Ted Barrett is behind the plate. The crew chief, Tim McClelland, at first. Andy Fletcher at second and Greg Gibson at third. Here's Martin Prado batting .292. Prado from the Dominican Republic, 25 years old. He's on the DL with some problems with his thumb last season. Comes in today batting .292. He's 1 for 9 in the series. 79 degrees here as we open play at Busch Stadium. Strike on the corner, 1-2.
The Redbirds would like to get the taste of the last 2 losses out of their mouth. Again, 1-run games. Tony La Russa ended up getting tossed from yesterday's game, and they've had some issues with this umpiring crew.
Friday night, a 1-0 loss. Umpire at the plate that evening was Andy Fisher. He missed the call on Holiday when he was safe at the plate. Last night, as you mentioned, Tony ejected for the first time, and a lot of interesting calls. Shot at Gibson there. 2-2 pitch. And the strikeout.
Carpenter's had such a nasty slider. We'll take a look at this break. Down and away from the right-hander Prado. Looks like a fastball to the last moment. And Carpenter has so many weapons. And I really love the way he pitches left-handers on the inside part of the plate. But he can be nasty on right-handers with that slider going down and away.
Here's Garrett Anderson, the 37-year-old veteran, born in Los Angeles, longtime Angel. And that will do it. The line drive to Albert. 3 up, 3 down, no score after a half inning of play.
It's not just where you are.
Javier Vasquez, the starter for the Braves, had a very nice season, 3.06 ERA. He's got a good changeup. I think that's the pitch that I would say is his most dominating pitch. He does have a good fastball as well, but I've always thought he had a very, very good changeup.
And to look at the Atlanta Braves defense, Anderson, McLeod, and Diaz, Prado, Escobar, Johnson, and LaRoche. Ross doing the catching, the veteran this afternoon.
McLeod is a great defensive center fielder anchoring that ball club. I think of the Braves club. I think of the job that Jurgens did on Friday night here, Jay. That was one of the best pitch games against the Cardinals that we've seen all season long.
Schumacher is 0 for 7 in the series, leading it off. Skip hits it into left. The leadoff man is on. Brendan Ryan in the number 2 slot today.
Swinging at the first pitch. Skip likes to do that. He gets a fastball up, takes it the other way. And that's one of the ways this game has changed. Leadoff hitters used to never swing at the first pitch, or almost never. And Schumacher does it a lot, but he figures that's the pitch that may be the best pitch in that at bat for him to be able to handle.
He's 3 for 8 in this homestand. Ryan's average at 290. Into right field. Diaz backing up is there. Vasquez now will face Albert. Vasquez 12-9. And this is his 3rd consecutive season with 200 or more strikeouts and 12 victories. They pay him a little over $11 million to do that.
So far, both clubs playing like they've got a plane to catch. Swinging at the first pitch. Carpenter got the Braves out in 2 minutes flat. And now the Cardinals have had 2 batters and have seen just 2 pitches.
Albert batting .327. The home run leader, 47. 124 RBIs. Has an excellent chance to win the National League RBI title as well. 1 for 8 in this series. A couple of strikeouts on Friday night. It's an unusual situation for him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's one that's all the way to the left. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is a foul ball. Whew. Man, did he hit that hard.
Albert has an uncanny ability to keep the ball fair down the left field line, but not this one, as he hooks it just a bit. And off the bat, I thought it was 2-0 Cardinals.
So did I. I had to try to change in midstream there and started hooking. A long strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Albert. 1 on and 1 out. Opening inning. 2-2. Reds playing in Chicago. They're just getting underway at Wrigley Field. Toss over.
We've gotten so spoiled with Albert. Every time he has a bad night, and he certainly had a bad night on Friday, made a couple of errors, was 0 for 4. You know, it's almost like we feel like the sky is falling. And I imagine even Stan Musial went 0 for 4 a couple of times.
I'm sure he did. Oh, the off-speed pitch gets him. The strikeout for Vasquez.
That pitch was a floater from Vasquez. It's a curveball, and he just pulls the string on it, and it acts like a changeup as it gets Albert way out on his front foot. Good pitch from Vasquez. And now we'll see a guy that really has energized Cardinal Nation, hasn't he?
Absolutely. He's 2 for 8 in the series. Last Wednesday had to leave the game with that bruise, but it's not been a problem. This is a pop-up, and Kelly Johnson, playing second base, makes the play. After an inning, no score here at Busch Stadium. It's a Sunday, of course. Cardinals will be in Mile High out in Colorado. Cards and the Rockies on the 27th. Our coverage begins at 1:30 right here on your home of Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5. Looking forward to that trip to see the Rockies. LaRoche, Escobar, and Johnson due here in the second inning. LaRoche batting .272, 3 for 8 in this series. Californian right out in front. One away.
You mentioned the Rockies, Jay. If the season were to end today, which it does not, plenty of baseball left, the Cardinals would be playing the Rockies in the first round of the playoffs. So that's certainly a distinct possibility. And that club sure has done a turnaround under Jim Tracy.
Amazing what they did out there. Here's Yunel Escobar hitting .323 since the All-Star break and .303 on the season. Takes a strike on the corner. Our friend Keith O'Brien, one of our talented technical people in the hospital after an appendectomy. We wish him a speedy recovery. Ball and 2 strikes. Phillies leading the Mets 2-0 there in the 5th inning in Philadelphia. Washington 6-1 over Florida. That game in Florida. The Marlins coming in here for 3 starting tomorrow.
And we've got a couple of birthday wishes, Jay. Marilyn Kelly from Crestwood, Missouri is 85 today and celebrating Cardinal baseball with her 21 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. She's here at the ballpark today. And also Rayford Hurt from Taylorville, Illinois is 92 and a lifelong Cardinal fan, and he's here as well.
And strikeout number 2.
But when Carpenter's really good, he's got the nasty breaking ball, and that's a nasty one. Ball in the dirt, handled by Molina. And you've got to commit the swing early enough, but the ball that Escobar swings at almost hits home plate. And he's a big league hitter, Jay, so that shows how much deception Carpenter brings with a breaking ball.
A strike to Kelly Johnson. Johnson from Austin, Texas, 27 years old, a first-round pick compensation pick in 2000. Hit 287 in 150 games last year. He does strike out a lot. Struck out 113 times. He had Tommy John surgery in 06. He's getting the call at second base, and he's got a hit to right. Chipper Jones not in the Atlanta lineup today. Chipper having a down year power-wise, and had his share of mistakes in the game here yesterday as well.
Line drive off the bat of Johnson. And you wonder whether they thought he was going to be the next Chipper Jones when they drafted him in that first round, but certainly has not developed that quickly the way Jones did. Schumacher with a great effort for that ground ball. Hit so hard, if he didn't come up with it, he might have had a chance to throw him out.
Matt Diaz 1 for 4 in this series, batting .319. Diaz born in Portland, Oregon. Line drive handled by Schumacher. An inning and a half has been played. No score.
Half-game lead. What could your concerns be here the final month of the season?
I think anytime you're in this situation, it's all about getting yourself prepared for October. And I think when you think about the word concern, is about peaking at the right time. And you know, offensively, I still don't think this club is gelled as good as it can be. And so our expectations there are still very high. And I think the other part of it is just the health factor and where this club will be in the next 3 weeks. But so far, you'd much rather sit where we are today than not be.
Speaking of health, John Smoltz is going to miss his start. What do we know about him?
Well, I do think if it was a start we needed to have happen, he could do it. But right now, given that we are where we are, it's probably best that he can skip it.
Another key question for this team down the stretch is going to be the closer. Ryan Franklin has been outstanding. He's had a couple of bad outings in a row. How do you view that at this point?
Well, I look at it as that's what happens over the course of a season. I think you know, he's always someone that believes in himself, and I think he has a high level of confidence. And I think he just needs to go back to what allowed him to be successful. And I really have a belief in him that he's capable of doing it. And so I'm hopeful he can get to where he is, and looking forward to him contributing again.
John, we appreciate the visit. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, Cardinal General Manager John Mozeliak, back to Jay and Rick.
And Ludwig hit it right on the nose, and a fine play made by Diaz out there in right field. One away. Here's Colby trying to bunt his way on a moment ago. It's 0-1 to him. A long one that is foul. Rasmus is 3 for 8 on the homestand. Ian Holiday, a little miscommunication problem out there in center field yesterday, Rick. Looked like watching that replay a couple of times that Colby was going to catch that ball. I don't know whether he didn't call Holiday off or not, but there obviously was a problem.
Well, Colby's learning, no doubt about that. He is growing into this position as a big league everyday player, and I think that's certainly in his future next year with the Cardinals. And Tony wants to make sure he doesn't tire him out or overexpose him this year, and I think there are a ton of people that would like to see him play every day right now.
Well, I would agree with you. We've seen him maturing here in recent months.
He has had some physical issues, which sometimes comes with being a rookie in the big leagues.
Changed his diet. He's lost some pounds and strikes out there. That's the second strikeout for Vasquez.
Good changeup from Vasquez, and there was a good pitch thrown to open the festivities here this afternoon, and that was thrown by Jake Franzel. And Jake is a 15-year-old sophomore from Lindbergh High School, and he's a cancer survivor, and he's here at the ballpark. And after getting treatment and becoming a survivor, he wanted to give back to a charity that helped him, Friends of Kids with Cancer, and he raised nearly $7,000 for Friends of Kids with Cancer. That's a great organization. Know a lot of folks involved with that. And Jake was a part of that. As a survivor, he wanted to give back. It's a great story, and he was out here throwing out the first pitch.
And he came up to visit with us, and it was a terrific opportunity to say hello to him and congratulate the young man for the wonderful work he's done. 0-2 to DeRosa. Nobody on, 2 out, no score, second inning. You heard DeRosa's interview with Frank Cusimano in the opening moments of the telecast today. Here's a little bloop that will be handled by Kelly Johnson, and the Cardinals are down 1-2-3. No score after 2. .com for the largest selection of authentic postseason caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and lots more. Get your playoff gear straight from the source at STLCardinals.com shop. And as we move to the third, we are joined by the voice of the Cardinals, Mr. Mike Shannon, and here is David Ross, who's doing the catching this afternoon for the Braves.
Think both these pitchers are on today?
I do.
Stay tuned.
That's fouled away. Good to see you, Old Irish. You're looking well.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here. I really enjoy it when these two pitchers are on like they are today. Two good ones.
Ross is a 32-year-old veteran from Bainbridge, Georgia. Originally a Dodger draft selection back in '98. He's been with Pittsburgh and San Diego and Cincinnati and Boston. Signed on with the Braves as a free agent last December. yards behind the plate this afternoon. Batting .259 on the year, his first appearance in this series.
He has one of those Johnny Bench jobs. Just like our guy has, Jason LaRue.
LaRue will catch tomorrow, I understand. They're going to give Yachty the day off tomorrow, and LaRue will catch Wellemeyer tomorrow.
You're up to all this stuff, aren't you? Isn't the manager talking to him already?
I did talk to him. I always talk to the manager on Sunday morning.
Always.
I always do that. It's a ritual.
It's a great show on that Sunday morning show that we have on.
It certainly is.
What do they call that?
It's called...
Pack stumped you.
No.
Wait a second. We'll get it. Hold on. It's
you have a couple of shows. You know, we have the show on Channel 5, but also you have the Bush Beer Chat on.
Well, no, I'm talking
network.
about the show on Channel 5. That's really a great show.
Cardinal Nation. Yeah.
Yeah, Cardinal Nation. That's what they call it. They're very, very good. I can tell you that. That's about 3 or 4 things I learned I didn't know.
David Ross grounds out. And Vasquez comes in. He's batting .207. Vasquez, in his last outing, struck out 9, pitched 7 scoreless innings. This fellow's a fine talent, no question about it.
He can swing the bat too. Make a mistake. You wouldn't expect him to hit Carpenter, but you make a mistake and he'll put it in play on you.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Always like those pitchers that come out of the Mexican League. They are very well schooled down there. You played down there. They have a lot of veterans that play for 10, 20 years, you know. Guys that will come back from the minors and the major leagues and play down there.
How about Fernando Venezuela? And quickly they're 2 away. And you were talking about Cardinal Nation. News Channel 5 every Sunday morning at 10. Wings of Hope, Cardinal Nation. 30 minutes of in-depth stories, interviews, and features. Wings of Hope, Cardinal Nation, right here on your home for Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5.
It's a really good show. Best show I've seen. Really good. Well, I'm sure you've produced and done all that right over there, right, Jenny?
Oh, many years ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Boy, that is a good show, though. I've enjoyed it.
They do a nice job.
It comes on early, doesn't it? Comes on
10 o'clock.
10?
Mm-hmm. Here's McClough. He flied to right back in the first inning. Just a year ago yesterday, he had 5 RBIs against the Cardinals.
That's what it was with Pittsburgh.
That's right. Into center field. Rasmus on the run. Falls in front of him for a single.
Well, the Post-Dispatch had some really good articles today. The commission had a good one.
Yeah. Let's see what kind of jump Rasmus got on this. He's improving at that center field position. I don't think he could have gotten to that no matter what kind of jump he had.
Yeah, that thing died right at the end there. He kind of was jammed a little bit.
Martin Prado struck out in the first. In for a strike.
Tell you who else is here today. The military academy at West Point has their soccer team here. The female soccer team is in town. They're here at the game today.
How about that?
So you didn't realize that?
I wasn't aware of that.
I scooped you there.
You scooped me there. Yes, you did.
In fact, I'm going to invite all 27 of those girls over to the booth. I have a young intern over there. I said, will you go over and get those girls? I said, how many of them are there? I said, 27. I said, bring them all. He said, oh, thank you.
Here's one into left. So after 2 out, back-to-back singles. And that will bring the veteran Garrett Anderson to the plate, who lined out to Pujols in the first.
He said it's bad enough that they can beat me at golf or something. He said now they're going to be stronger than I am too, and they're in better shape. But yeah, you're probably right there. Did you see that football game last night? USC and Ohio State. That was.
I did. It was a dandy.
I'm telling you, I was amazed at the speed of both of those teams. Wow, are they quick.
Yep. Our congratulations to the Illini and to the Tigers, both winners yesterday.
Nice. Fantastic.
Missouri had to struggle, but got the job done.
And how about Houston? That upset. Wow.
They were very impressive winning at Stillwater, Oklahoma.
They're not happy down in Stillwater today. Whew.
That's Mr. Holliday's hometown, of course.
And if I'm not mistaken, weren't they ranked number 5 coming into that game?
5 or 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Certainly they were in the top 10. I know that.
So they're happy in Texas and they're sad in Oklahoma.
And good luck to the Rams today. They open up out in the far northwest at Seattle.
Not easy to win up there.
Down to first. It's a foul ball. They're still scoreless up at Wrigley Field. The Reds and the Cubs playing in the second inning. Kansas City's leading Cleveland 5-0 in the 6th inning at Cleveland.
Boy, that Cleveland has had a horrendous season, haven't they?
They really
wow.
have, boy.
They've unloaded all their good players too. Lee, DeRosa, you name it.
Detroit is winning at home 4-2 over Toronto. 6th inning. 2-2 the count.
Boy, if you're a sports fan, this is the time of the year for you, isn't it? Everything's going on.
You're right. And the Blues started their
They're working out right now. If I'm not
practice
mistaken.
for the upcoming National Hockey League season. They went to work on Saturday. A full count to Anderson.
These runners will be off.
And it's high. And that loads them up for Adam LaRoche. First walk issued by Carpenter.
Well, Anderson is 7 for 24 lifetime, coming in with a home run against Carpenter, and Adam LaRoche is 1 for 9 lifetime now. So, if he was gonna swing, he would have definitely made him hit his pitch, and he wouldn't go for it.
McLaugh, Prado, and Anderson on the bases. LaRoche grounded out back in the second. Foul ball, hot shot past the bag at first.
That's no accident. That pitch comes right in on your hands there. I'll give you a replay of that one if we could. I'll show you. The only way you can hit that ball fair is you really have to get the bat head out in front, or you have to inside out it. Watch where it comes right there, right on your hands and right at your belt. It's almost impossible to hit that ball fair. And it was a cutter to boot where it's coming out over the plate and then comes right in on your hands.
Carpenter now out in front, 0-2. LaRoche grew up in Kansas. His dad pitched for the Angels, the Twins, the Cubs, the Indians, and the Yankees. Ooh, just missed inside.
And his brother plays for another National League team. Plays third base for the Pirates. In fact, they were teammates.
They were indeed.
The early part of the year.
He came over from Boston on the 31st of July in the Casey Kochman deal. Here's one into right. And it is off the wall down there, and 2 runs will score. So all of this coming with 2 out. RBIs number 65 and 66 for LaRoche.
Ball low and inside, and that's the natural arc of the bat. Cardinal, the outfielder, did a good job of getting it back in and keeping the runner at third, but it seemed to me that Anderson was just kind of loping over there.
Escobar with a shot into right. And 2 more runs will come home, and the Braves are up 4-0.
Wow. Tell you what, this is a great lineup. When you look at their RBIs, they got 61, 42, 54, 67, 66. And Diaz, who doesn't play all the time, has 46. So that they're really really good up and down. The ball's right down the middle, up. And usually when it's like that, there's a line drive tacked on the end of it.
Escobar with RBIs number 67 and 68.
Pretty good for a shortstop.
Here's Kelly Johnson, who singled in the second inning. After Ross and Vasquez grounded out, 4 hits with a walk in between, and it's 4-0. The Braves trying to go for the sweep. One-nothing win here on Friday night. Bobby Cox. And here's a shot into center field. Rasmus on the run over his head, and a ground rule double, bounding up on the grass. Wow, what's going on here?
Sprung a leak. Here comes the Cardinal pitching coach out to talk to Carpenter, settle him down a bit.
Got a bit of a break there. Escobar has to go back to third. He would have scored.
Bobby, he's a beauty, isn't he?
He didn't want that. He didn't want that ground rule double. He
Yeah, sure. He wanted that other run over there. It would have been 5 instead of 4. But I love his reactions over there. He's from the old school. He's only 140 something wins behind Tony La Russa for the all-time win list.
I think it's about 143 or 4, right at that. 8-time manager of the year, 4th all-time in wins behind Tony La Russa. And here is Matt Diaz. And he hits it into right. And the beat goes on. 2 more runs score. 6-0 Atlanta.
Now we'll get an error. It'll be interesting to see who they gave the error to. Is that one skipped by the catcher? Most likely on the throw.
Cardinals getting battered badly here.
All this with 2 outs.
Yep. Single and 2 RBIs. They haven't told us who they gave the error to yet.
Well, they got 2 choices.
Yep.
It's going to be either E9 or E2.
Here's David Ross, who started this inning with a ground out.
Usually they give it to the guy that throws it, but in this case it bounced 2 or 3 times. They could give it to Yadier Molina. It'd be unusual if they do. But if you let one go by, go through you like that in the field, they give it to you. E2. This is a very good scoring in my mind.
Yep. Down to third. DeRosa throws on. And the inning comes to a close, but not after the Atlanta Braves get half a dozen, cousin. Marketplace of the Cardinals, and the only site with Fan Protect guarantee.
Normally when a ball comes in from the outfield and it goes by the catcher, they give the air to the fielder, but in this case it bounced 2 or 3 times prior to getting to Yachty, and it went right between his legs, so they charged him with the air, and I'd have to agree with it, even though Yachty's one of the best in the business.
Molina leading off. A shot out to the shortstop. Escobar throws on, 1 away. This fella Escobar plays a fine shortstop for the Braves.
And look what he's doing offensively.
Yeah.
Man, he's having a heck of a year. Came in with 14 homers. He has 68 RBIs now, and his average is well over 300. He's at 305.
Carpenter batting 151. The Braves, if you're just joining us, struck for 6 runs in the 3rd inning on 6 hits and an error, and a walk in there.
All with 2 outs, too. Wow. It was impressive, wasn't it?
It really was. Two balls and a strike.
Yeah, this team's going to be good next year. They're kind of out of the race this year. Not completely yet, though. They're still alive as they come in today. They are 7 games behind Philadelphia, 2 behind Florida.
Pop-up is handled by the 3rd baseman Prado. Keeping score there.
Pop to 5, not 6. Oh, who's he caught it or she? Who is that? Looks like a he from the fingernails.
You know, Mike, you're talking about these Braves. They were only 3 games out on September the 2nd. And they have now won 4 of their last 10, but they lost 5 in a row at a very crucial time for them.
So you put a streak together now, either good or bad, and you're going to make some moves this time of the year. Look what the Cardinals have done.
Schumacher has the Redbirds' only hit. He led off for the Redbirds with a single to left.
Cardinals had a wonderful month of August, and they just pulled away from the pack. I remember the Cardinal team in 1968. They had run away with the National League in 67, so they scheduled something like, I don't know, 59 games in 58 days. And they thought, well, that'll slow them down. Well, the Cardinals got hot. They won by 10 again.
This is handled in foul ground by Prado. And the Cardinals go 1, 2, 3. After 3, 6-0 Atlanta. Mike Shannon alongside, and Carpenter going back to work after that disastrous third inning here.
Jennings, I want to compliment you on the weather you have brought us this summer. It's been fantastic.
I've been working on it.
You,
I really
you
have.
are,
You know that.
you are to be commended. There's no doubt about it. And today is another fantastic afternoon.
Can you remember a summer like this?
No.
It's been absolutely terrific. Javier Vasquez grounded out in the third. Leads it off here in the fourth. The Braves sent 10 to the plate in the third inning. 2 balls and no strikes.
Crowd rather quiet after that 6-run frame.
They're a little stunned, don't you? 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't think they're alone. That's for certain. How many years is it now for you, Jennings, doing the big league baseball?
Well, let's see. I did 19 years here with you and Jack, of course, a year in Cincinnati, a year in Atlanta, 9 years in Florida, and back my 3rd year back here. So that's a bunch, isn't it?
Yeah, you're going to pass. We're passing you, okay?
Yeah. Wonderful to be back in the booth with you, of course. As always, we had so many terrific times, as they say, back in the day. This is a ground out for Javier Vasquez.
Well, this could be another outstanding postseason play for the Cardinals. They're certainly set up for it, but in this game of baseball, I'll tell you, everybody forgets, they get on a hot streak or they get on a cold streak and you say, oh, they're never going to win a game or they're never going to lose a game. But this is a really solid team the Cardinals have. They can catch the ball, they can throw it, they can pitch, and they have a good offense. So it's going to be whoever they knot up with in the postseason is going to have their hands full. And it's, this playoff system that we have now, it's so difficult to win. You've got to win 11 games. After you get to the playoffs, then you got to win 11.
Yep.
Really the tough ones, I think, are probably the first 3. If you get by that first best 3 out of 5, then you got 4 out of 7.
The season was end today, as Rick mentioned early on. The Cardinals would play the Colorado Rockies in the first round of the playoffs. Up the middle, McLeod is 2 for 3. Brace yourself, St. Louis. Dr. Oz is coming tomorrow to News Channel 5. An appointment with the doctor for you every weekday morning at 11. Get ready to live right now. The Dr. Oz Show debuts tomorrow morning at 11 right here on News Channel 5.
Have they given us any kind of hint
well,
about the Oz?
Maybe
not going to be Ozzy, is it?
Maybe he's the son of the wizard. I don't know.
It's a secret, huh? We have to tune in.
I guess we'd have to tune in to check it out.
We don't know if he's a doctor of philosophy, a doctor of veterinarian.
We'll find
medicine.
out. We'll find out.
Just 11 tomorrow. Huh?
That's it.
Could be Dr. Goodlove
or Dr. Strangelove. Prado struck out and he singled and scored. And the count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Martin Prado.
Good pickup there, Jennings.
And of course, another debut tomorrow. Jay Leno with his new comedy hour tomorrow night on Channel 5.
I'll be sleeping.
It's early now. It's early. It's before the news.
It's before the news.
It's before the news.
Do you have sports still on for?
Yes, we do. We have
okay,
sports
good.
on all our newscasts.
Very good.
Let's promo that tomorrow. You want more comedy? Well, beginning tomorrow night at 9, Jay Leno, a full hour of comedy every weeknight in prime time. The Leno Show debuts tomorrow evening. Yes, Jerry Seinfeld, followed by News Channel 5 at 10. New comedy 5 nights a week at 9. The Jay Leno Show. It's about time. Here's the 2-2. Look out.
Breaking ball over his head. You can see that what's happened to Carpenter is that he's lost his control mostly in the strike zone. You can lose it in the strike zone and out of the strike zone. It's bad to lose it either way, but sometimes in the strike zone is even worse.
Out to Ryan. They get 1. They get 2. 6-4-3 on the double play. 3.5 innings by the board. 6-0 Atlanta. Brought to you by the Oscar Mayer Fried Bologna Biscuit, new at Hardee's. By Bank of America, Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. And by Schnucks, low prices, no sacrifices.
Have you been to the new downtown Schnucks, Jay?
I have not. Everybody tells me it's terrific.
It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna go. These guys play down under the arch, the old style baseball. In fact, I know a couple of the guys, and they have more fun doing that, recreating the game as your old friend Abner put it together.
Hadn't changed much, tell you that.
There you go.
It's still 90 feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're still playing Pepper.
They have some. They use the old time rules. I guess there's some.
Well, it used to be
differences, of course.
Yeah, they've changed a few as far as hits and walks are concerned, and it used to be I don't know, only 2 strikes or something like that. Three balls. It hadn't changed much, so then those two guys put it together. I'll tell you
this time of the year, they play just about every Sunday down there under the arch and have a great time doing it. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 balls and 1 strike on Brendan Ryan, who flied to right. The ball right on the nose back in the 1st inning, but Diaz made a nice play. That's fouled away. Told one of the original rules of the game was that the starting pitcher had to finish the game. My goodness, what would we do with that?
Have a lot of fun if you were a hitter. I'll tell you what, there'd be a lot of guys going down on the back too. After giving up an inning like Carpenter did, you'd 3 or 4 guys get knocked down.
2-2 to Ryan. Hot shot to the second baseman. Johnson throws on, 2 away. Excuse me, 1 away. This day in baseball history, Albert Red Schoendienst, then with the Braves, returns to the lineup for the first time since being diagnosed with tuberculosis. And
when you look back through Red's career,
that's a remarkable thing. He was out for 2 years battling tuberculosis, came back and continued a terrific career.
But I'll bet you he had the TB his whole career. Didn't know it. He'd be hitting 350, 360 at the All-Star break every year, and then he'd slow down and wind up hitting 280. And he was playing with that bug all the time, and I bet you, boy, he never knew it.
Into center field. McLeod handles it. He was He's in uniform as usual today, and now he's watching the game here. The Hall of Famer, Red Shane Dienst. You know, when I tell young people about his career and I mention that tuberculosis period, he doesn't like me to talk about that.
Yeah, I know he doesn't.
But it's really remarkable what he was able to do with that problem in his truly wonderful career. Here's Holiday, who popped out.
It was a drastic disease back then.
Oh yeah, they put you in a special sanitarium. Yeah,
and you'd have an operation, and even before that, they didn't know what to do. It's amazing the medical advances nowadays.
Prado throws out Holiday. Well, nice being with you. I'm sorry it wasn't more fun.
See it.
Carpenter finds himself and the Redbirds down 6-0. Anderson leading off. He lined out in the first, walked, and scored in the third inning. If you're just joining us, 6 runs on 6 hits and error for Atlanta in that third inning. Albert trots in under this one, 1 away. Here's LaRoche, who after he grounded out in the second inning, doubled, picked up 2 RBIs, and later scored in that marathon third inning. But we played 4 innings in an hour with 6 runs.
7 straight base runners there in that third inning.
Yep.
And it really came out of nowhere. Carpenter had been cruising right along, Jay, and all of a sudden he lost the command of his breaking ball, and then a lot of the fastballs in the middle of the plate, and all that happened with 2 outs.
Rick, I'm sure there are a lot of the fans sitting at home saying, how does that happen?
Yeah.
And you better than anybody else knows how it can happen. When it happens to a pitcher, it's I mean, it's a situation that you seem to have no control over. Albert makes a jumping catch there. Nice job. LaRoche hit it right on the nose. Take a look at that play, and then I want to get back to that question I was asking you. But
line drive there, Albert. Very quick reactions. He sees it and has to jump all in the same motion to come up with that. And I think your question is a good one, Jay. You know, a pitcher has to be so precise, and then really the difference between the sharp curveball down and away and the hanging one that he's throwing is maybe a 1/16 of an inch in terms of his release point. It's a feel thing, it's a muscle memory thing, and once you get into a bad muscle memory, you tend to repeat it, kind of like a golf swing. And then you hope that maybe you can kind of step away from it, come back, and get right back on track again. But sometimes you're just searching to find that right release point. We talk so much about mechanics, but you can have the best mechanics in the world. If your release point is off, you're not going to throw strikes.
2 balls and a strike, and make it 3-1 now to Yunel Escobar. He picked up 2 RBIs with a single in that 3rd inning after striking out in the 2nd. And a walk.
Very uncharacteristic for Carpenter to have a 2-out walk.
Yeah, and that is his 2nd walk issued in the game. For all the highlights and a complete wrap-up of the weekend sports, don't miss the Don Brown Deal Sports Plus tonight. Join Rennie Knott and Frank Cusimano tonight following the late news right here on News Channel 5. Here's Kelly Johnson. Strike on the outside corner. Johnson has a single and a double and has scored a run in this one.
I think the goal here is to leave Carpenter in there until he can figure this out. Maybe one more inning potentially, unless he hits in the last inning. But there's back-to-back curveballs that worked on the outside corner to Johnson. A little bit better release point, and you'd like to have him finish off his outing, whether the Cardinals come back and win or not, on a high note.
It's a little like yesterday. I'm reminded, you know, Franklin finally getting back into the fray,
right,
trying to get the save after having the days off, and he really struggled, and then he got himself together and was able to finish up on a good note.
And there's such a feel to everything you do in this game, and you say, how can Albert Pujols go 0 for 4? And you know, it's such a fine line between being right on time and being late and being off balance. And you know, sometimes we don't give these athletes credit enough for being able to do what they do on such a high level so often.
The strikeout. 6-0 Atlanta. Record between Tony La Russa and Bobby Cox. Cox leading 91-61 head to head. How about that?
A little bit surprised by that.
Boy.
And you're looking at 2 of the winningest managers in the history of the game of baseball, and
number 3 and 4.
Sometimes we gloss over that when we play the Braves, but that's just a big deal.
Mike was mentioning there are only about 143 games between the 2 of them. Let's see what Ludwig can do as we start this bottom of the 5th inning. Luddy lined out to right back in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Rasmussen DeRosa. 6-8-0 for Atlanta. 0-1-1 for the Cardinals. The Redbirds back in action here tomorrow against Florida. Action Monday and Tuesday evening and Wednesday afternoon. A day off on Thursday, and the Cubs come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is popped up out behind second. Escobar makes the play. And Brad Thompson loosening in the bullpen.
My guess is Chris Carpenter's afternoon is through. Thought they might try to get him through 6 innings, but with Thompson throwing, unless he's throwing with the possibility of Chris Carpenter batting this inning. And so we may see Carpenter one more inning if the Cardinals don't get to his spot in the order. But I think we may see Mr. Thompson in the 6th.
Rasmus struck out back in the 2nd inning. 0-2. The Braves have a day off tomorrow, and then they're home for 3 against the Mets and 3 against the Phillies. And the strikeout. Strikeout 2-3. That's the 3rd strikeout for Vasquez. Well, what's on tap? Tomorrow, of course, Marlins and the Cardinals. Game time 7:15, but the coverage beginning at 6:30 tomorrow evening, I believe, on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's Mark DeRosa, who blooped out to second base back in the 2nd inning. Nothing shaking here in the bottom of the 5th.
Steady diet of off-speed pitches from Vasquez. He's got a good fastball too, but his curveball and his changeup have been problematic for the Cardinals.
Down to 3rd. Prado throws on. And we played 5 here at Busch Stadium on this glorious afternoon, with the Braves leading 6-0. Call, click, or come by Commerce Bank, member FDIC. And by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. Matt Diaz leads it off. He lined out in the 2nd inning, singled, picked up a couple of RBIs in the 3rd. 0-2. That hit him. Curveball got away.
Carpenter's had some good innings, but he had a hiccup in the third, and it was a long hiccup. A lot of pitches in the middle of the plate, not getting their spot. Pitches up in the zone. Good swing from LaRoche there. Escobar gets one up in the zone, middle away, and again, too many pitches in the middle of the plate, with Diaz's base hit being the last dagger. And here's a curveball that hits Diaz to start the 6th inning. Just when Carp was starting to get that feel for the breaking ball, he hits Diaz.
Down to the third baseman. Only play is over to first as Diaz moves to second. Javier Vasquez, who has grounded out twice, pitching with a 6-run advantage here. He'll come to the plate.
And he's one of those pitchers that you cannot make a mistake with. Batting over 200 in his career, pretty good numbers for a pitcher. And you just really can't take him for granted as an out. Carp struggling, going to have to make good pitches.
And here's another play for DeRosa. Nice work as Diaz goes over to third with 2 away. Tomorrow morning, join News Channel 5 Art Holiday and Jennifer Blome. There's St. Louis's top duo in the morning. Today in St. Louis, wake up with Art and Jennifer. The latest news, traffic, and weather. Today in St. Louis, beginning at 5 a.m. right here on News Channel 5. Back to the top of the order, Nate McLouth. He's flied to right, singled and scored, and then in the 4th he singled again.
You know, Jay, Whitey Herzog is having his charity event this weekend, dinner tonight and a golf tournament all day tomorrow, and he's going to be celebrating the closers of Cardinal history. And makes me think of how little I understand what all this conversation is about Ryan Franklin in Cardinal Nation, thinking about replacing him with somebody else. I just think we need to let that go.
RBI for McLouth. Diaz, who was hit by the pitch, comes home. It's 7-0, and that is the 62nd RBI for Nate McLouth.
There's another pitch in the middle of the plate. Carp trying to get that down and away, and it just kind of came back over the center of the plate. Again, very little command of his fastball. Does not have the feel for his curveball, and just a rough outing for Chris Carpenter. You don't say that very often.
No, you don't. Martin Prado takes a strike on the corner. You're talking about Franklin. I mean, here's a guy who's been remarkable this year. He has the kind of makeup. I mean, obviously, he didn't like what happened here yesterday, but
and it hasn't happened that often.
No. Into center field, coming on Rasmus. He is there, but I haven't lost any confidence in Franklin, but we'll see what happens. 6-0 Atlanta. BC and Channel 5. Don't miss the exciting NFL opening weekend action. The Bears go to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. Sunday night football night tonight at 7 right here on News Channel 5. The score is 7-0. Yadier Molina has grounded out. That happened back in the third, and he'll lead it off. We go to the bottom of the sixth.
Good time if you're a sports fan, isn't it? Golf still going on. You've got college football starting, pro football, and the Blues right around the corner, and of course the Cardinals hoping for some October and November magic. So a lot of good things to think about going forward.
Tiger taking control at Cog Hill yesterday. My goodness, what a round of golf he played. And of course, Mike and I were congratulating the Illini and the Tigers for their victories yesterday. And
yeah, Tiger looked like a young Jay Randolph.
Boy, he is something. And you know, the Blues getting underway with their practicing and getting set for the season. There is a lot happening, and of course a lot to look forward to with these Redbirds in postseason play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4th inning at Wrigley Field, no score. The Reds and the Cubs. And down goes Yachty. Strikeout number 4. The Cardinals have a great deal for all the college students and staff. College nights featuring discounted outfield loge box seats for just $10. Now the next college night is tomorrow night. The Cardinals and the Marlins. You can get your tickets right now at stlcardinals.com/college. College night tomorrow night. Khalil Green will come to the plate. Khalil batting .205, 6 home runs, 24 RBIs.
Retired 16 straight Cardinals. Vasquez, good off-speed pitches all afternoon. Cardinals haven't had a lot of good swings at him. The ball that Albert hit down the left field line that hooked foul, really the closest the Cardinals have come to scoring.
The 1-1 pitch.
Throws a lot of arms and legs at you in his motion, and then takes a lot off of his pitches. So if you're looking at his body, you see a lot of speed, you see a lot of activity, and then the ball just doesn't come out. Leg kick high, a lot of movement, and then whoops, it's not there yet.
The 5th strikeout for Javier Vasquez. And here is Hardy's hot pitch of the day. This strikeout of the pinch hitter.
He's had the good changeup, but this is the curveball down and away. Green hits curveball pretty well, but not that one.
2 out for Schumacher. Skip with the only hit for the Cardinals this afternoon. It came in the 1st inning. He fouled out in the 3rd. Well, there are plenty of tickets available for this series coming up tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday with the Marlins, but then it gets pretty sticky after that. The Cubs series, standing room only.
Looking forward to that series.
And then, of course, there will be the 3 games with the Milwaukee Brewers to end the regular season. Friday, October 2nd. Saturday afternoon, October 3rd, and Sunday afternoon, October 4th. There are some tickets remaining. So you want to get to stlcardinals.com.
Cardinals magic number at 11, so really impossible to guess what might be the time where the Cardinals clinch it. Of course, they've got some work to do that, but I think it'd be a reasonable guess that it would happen on the next road trip, Jay, perhaps in Houston, perhaps in Colorado.
This is slapped deep in the hole. Escobar safe. Another hit for Skip. He has both Cardinal hits. Boy, Escobar made a heck of a play there, made it very close.
Very nifty fielding, close play at first, and Skip does his classic head first slide into first base. I still think he's the only guy in baseball that does that, and he's convinced he gets there quicker. And the jury's still out as far as I'm concerned.
Shades of Pete Rose, huh?
He's a little different than Pete Rose, though.
Yeah. Here's Brendan Ryan.
That's all I'm saying about that.
Ryan is flied out and grounded out. Like he wanted to bunt, takes a strike. Talking about Cardinal tickets now. You're available to you through StubHub, too, 24 hours a day. STLCardinals.com, the Schnucks Markets, Cardinal Clubhouse Stores, Busch Stadium. Remember that KTRS First Pitch program. Tickets for $5.50. Passes available at 9 a.m. on the day of the game, and they're distributed 10 minutes prior to the game. But not a lot of action left in the regular season, and not a lot of tickets left. 0-2 to Ryan.
But it's been fun at the ballpark, Jay. Every day, Cardinals doing something exciting. It's been a rough series here against the Braves, but this team has really provided a lot of thrills this year.
Off-speed pitch, and he strikes out the side. 6 innings by the board, 7-0 Atlanta. News tomorrow evening, an exclusive interview tonight. News Channel 5's Mike Bush sits down one-on-one with Jay himself. A rapid-fire exchange behind the scenes. Jay Leno's new primetime show tonight on News Channel 5 following Sunday Night Football. The new pitcher's Brad Thompson. Thompson retired 8 straight back on July 31st against Houston before allowing a run, and Jason LaRue is now behind the plate taking over for Molina.
Thompson's been pretty sharp of late, but he has had a hard time getting much work. The Cardinals starting pitching has been so good. He's kind of the guy that Tony likes to use to eat up 2 or 3 innings in the middle of a game like this when the Cardinals are either way ahead, way behind, and he's kind of the closest thing the Cardinals have to a long man. Most teams don't really use a long reliever anymore, but Brad is the closest example of that in the Cardinals bullpen.
And the first pitch to Garrett Anderson into right. Ludwig comes on and makes the play. say what a great job Julie McQueen has done today, filling in down in the truck, and really handled things very well. Tom Eulis for Dave Lopino. Also changes in our group today, but all of these guys do a wonderful job here, bringing you the sights and sounds of Cardinal baseball.
And that truck is a dangerous place to go in. Let me tell you, those are some goofy people down there in that truck. We love them, but they're goofy.
1 ball and 1 strike to Adam LaRoche. He fouls it away.
And kind of our head goof down there is Tom Mee, our director, who, by the way, is the author of a book that's coming out the next 2 or 3 weeks called Cutting the Game. And it's really the inside look at the director's role in cutting a baseball game. It'll be a fascinating read, and looking forward to that being on sale. And folks want to know about the backstory about how to produce a baseball game and direct a baseball game, need to find that book, Cutting the Game, by Tom Mee.
And it's a real art form. It really is. I had the pleasure of working with the man who really invented modern technology for baseball coverage at NBC, the late great Harry Coyle. And Mr. Mee is right there in that same pantheon of greatness. I'll tell you, he's an outstanding performer. Yanel Escobar has struck out. He's singled.
You said that just the way that Tom told you. You tell him to call it the pantheon of greatness. That's the little note he wrote you.
That's it. Escobar got. Oh, look out! Wonderful play out there in right. Ludwig. Nice job. 6.5 innings have been played. It's 7-0 Atlanta. If you read it, it wasn't much. Albert Pujols leading it off. We have a new left fielder, former Cardinal farmhand Reed Gurecki. He is out in left field, taking over for Anderson. Albert today has struck out and flied to center. Off-speed pitch.
I'd like to see the Cardinals come up with a couple of runs here just to make this game a little tighter. And they can strike quickly. They've been much more of a come from behind team since Matt Holliday has joined the club, but this is a pretty big mountain to climb here.
Albert goes down, and 2 strikeouts on Friday night, 2 strikeouts today.
Vasquez is part of the reason for that. It was Jurgens on Friday night. Vasquez today, an assortment of off-speed pitches. Very good, sharp curveball has been the majority of the strikeouts. Vasquez, a veteran right-hander, began his career with the Montreal Expos. Spent some time with the White Sox, with Arizona, and now he's with Atlanta, and he's had a very good season.
Holiday pops it up into right. Diaz is there. Quickly, they're 2 away. 7 strikeouts now for Vasquez. Hey, fans, you may have had some great seats in the ballpark, but have you seen the view from the dugout? Experience it by taking a tour at Busch Stadium. Tours normally occur daily, except on days when there are afternoon home games. For more information, call 314-345-9565 or visit stlcardinals.com. Those tours have been very popular this season. Ludwig has lined to right and popped out. Inside. The Cubs have struck for 3 in Chicago. They lead 3-0. Still batting in the bottom of the 4th inning over the Reds. Tough play here for Prado. Got it. Prado going to the line and throwing out Ludwig. After 7-0 Atlanta. We move to the 8th. Kelly Johnson getting the start at second base today. And he's had a very good day. 2 for 3 and scored a run. Singled in the second, doubled in the third, struck out in the 6th. Brad Thompson gets him to ground out. Schumacher to Pujols. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
Brad Thompson getting a chance to get a couple of innings in this game. Little work for him. Looked good so far. 4 up, 4 down, and really the Braves offense hasn't done much other than that short period of time in the third inning. They had 6 of their 9 hits in that very short time frame and scored 6 of their 7 runs.
Diaz lined out to second, singled, picked up a couple of RBIs in the third, was hit by a pitch and scored in the 6th. Good curveball, broke down and out. 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes. The 118th season for the St. Louis Cardinals. Did that hit him? It did. Earlier, Diaz was hit by Carpenter. It's the second time in this game that he's reached, taking one for the team. Immediately following today's telecast, stay tuned for the post-game show with all the highlights, today's action, and insight into the game. News Channel 5, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
That last hit by pitch, very aggravating because that pitch isn't that far off the inside corner.
Right.
Diaz basically just turned into that pitch. I don't want to say he let it hit him because that's a painful thing.
He crowds the plate anyway. Here's Ross doing the catching for Atlanta. 1 ball and 1 strike. 7th inning, Pittsburgh leading the Astros 1-0. Washington 7-1 over Atlanta, and they are in a rain delay there in the 7th inning. I meant to say they're playing the Astros, Pittsburgh. Center field, Rasmus on the run, off the wall. And the run's going to score. It's 8-0. Diaz coming home. Double for Ross.
Thought Colby might have a shot at catching this ball. Hit deep to center field. Tough play on a little bit of a hanging curveball. Colby has his eye on it, sees where the fence is, and he just kind of pulls back at the last second as he gets close to the wall, and didn't pull back very much. He just reached out, couldn't get it. He had a long way to go, and that ball was hit very, very hard. Rasmus covers ground, but he doesn't look like he is. He's got very smooth kind of running style, and I think he's got a chance of being an above average fielder defensively in the big league.
Oh, I would agree with you. Vasquez is 0 for 3 on the afternoon with 3 ground outs. Remember that play earlier in the year when Ankiel went head first, actually face first into the wall, and what a scary time that was. And it took Rick a while to get himself squared away after that.
Oh, that was a rough moment, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Rough to watch that. And there's no sense in Colby doing that in an 8-0 game in the 8th inning.
And Ryan makes a fine play. Wow. And Albert helped out by trapping it on the bounce, but a spinning maneuver by Ryan. Here's our defensive play of the game presented by Steak and Shake.
Very smooth fielding by Ryan. Low throw. Albert digs it out. I wasn't sure Albert stayed on the base or not, but Ryan makes a very nice play. Albert is on the bag, scoops it nicely. It's a pretty good tandem right there, those two defensively. And you look around the shortstops in the National League and you'd say, what shortstops are maybe the guys you throw in with Brendan Ryan as saying Gold Glove candidates? And I'm not sure Ryan's played enough games to be that. That will be his problem, but there really aren't a lot of names. Tulowitzki and Rollins.
I'd throw this fella here in. I think he's very good.
He does. He has a high number of errors is the problem.
Yeah.
But he gets a lot of balls. So
really is a good player.
In terms of low error total, you look at Rollins and Tulowitzki only have 6 or 7 errors each. Brendan Ryan's around that same number, but he hasn't played nearly the number of games that Tulowitzki and Rollins have.
McClough this afternoon is 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. 0-2 the count.
Escobar made some play earlier, didn't he? Going deep in the hole at shortstop, and you really like your shortstop to be athletic. They're going to make some errors, but you like them to be able to go and get balls that nobody else can.
I like the way he throws too. He's got a real rocket out there. Into right field, and they're going to hold Ross up as the throw comes in, and they're down to second. Not in time. Cloth with another hit. A 4-hit afternoon. They're calling it a single, and he goes to second on the throw.
Ludwig makes the throw, and this is a throw that you would prefer to be cut off. It was just too high a throw, as the runner Ross was held early enough that if the throw would have been down, Albert could have cut it and kept the runner from going from first to second, which I guess 8-0 you don't care too much about, but you still want to play the game right.
Martin Prado has struck out, singled and scored, grounded into a double play and flied to center. Strike one to Prado. I'll correct something I said earlier about Martin Prado. He is from Venezuela. I think I said the Dominican Republic back in the first inning. He's 25 years old. Signed as a non-drafted free agent. Play across the diamond, and that's going to do it as the Braves strand 2. It's 8-0 Atlanta. Cardinals will be in Denver, take on the Rockies. It's September the 27th. Our coverage begins at 1:30 right here on your home for Cardinal Baseball, News Channel 5. Both number 15s. Rasmus leading it off, fouls it away. Edmonds and Holiday. inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby has struck out twice this afternoon.
Well, that's one thing about the number. You don't get to keep it forever unless they retire it. And that doesn't happen very often. There's always a young kid that's just signed that is hoping to have a Cardinal uniform someday and will have somebody else's number. Tom Herr was 28 for so long, and now that jersey belongs to Colby Rasmus. Others have had it in between, of course. Had a good visit with Dyer Miller before the game.
It was nice to see him.
Yeah, he's just such a good friend.
Yeah.
And, you know, I actually played with Dyer. He was our player coach in Louisville. He was the pitching coach and a player in 1982. And then I coached with him, played for him in the big leagues with Chicago White Sox, and he's been around a long time and had a lot of good things to say about Shelby Miller, the first-round pick of the Cardinals.
That is the 8th strikeout for Javier Vasquez, and 3 of those 8 belong to Colby Rasmus. Dyer back in there. There he is.
There's Dyer. Very sage advice comes out of his mouth. Let me tell you, he understands the game very, very well.
And DeRosa grounds out short to third, or short to first.
There's a great way with young players. Think about some of the young pitchers that he took under his wing when Todd Worrell signed that with the Cardinals. They really gave Dyer kind of the role of taking care of him and teaching him how to play the game right. And he's got tremendous patience, which you need, of course, if you are a coach at the minor league level.
Here's LaRue batting for the first time. He took over for Molina, and LaRue will do the catching tomorrow. They're going to give Molina a day off. Wellemeyer getting the start tomorrow. Schmaltz with the cortisone shot, having a little bit of a tendonitis problem, but I spoke with him today. He says he's going to be fine, not a problem. It'll be Wellemeyer against Ricky Nolasco tomorrow. On Tuesday, Wainwright goes against Sean West. The afternoon game on Wednesday, Joel Pinheiro against Josh Johnson.
You mentioned Smoltz and his tendonitis, and of course Kyle Loesch did not have one of his better outings yesterday, and he's still trying to get things back on track after a number of injuries. Really the pitching from the 4th starter, 5th starter, long guy, setup guy, there's a lot of opportunities out there. And so, you know, there's got a lot of guys here that are going to be trying to seize the moment. Really the only thing set in stone right now as far as I'm concerned is Franklin at the end of the game, and then the first 3 starters in Carpenter, Wainwright, and Pinheiro.
And I think you're dead on right there. There's time to set a lot of other items up and see how it goes.
And you want to go with a hot hand. John Mozeliak told Frank Cusimano in that interview early on in our telecast that really it's not just about having a good season, but it's about having guys hot at the right time. And so with the bullpen, you're going to want to go with the hot reliever towards the end of the season, and we don't know who that'll be. It might be Jason Mott. He's started to throw a little bit better. It might be John Smoltz late in the game. Might be Blake Hawksworth. As good as he's been, the opportunities in front of him as well. And of course, Kyle McClellan has a big upside.
Another payoff pitch coming. And a little blooper out into left is going to fall in front of Gorecki. And going into second base with a double is LaRue. 3rd hit of the game.
And I think they're going to call that a single and an error on Gorecki as he's trying to help out his pitcher by making that play. That's what they're going to call it.
Yeah. It is a single and an E7.
And I think this is the right move here, too, giving Brad Thompson a chance to go 3 innings. That's what a long reliever does. and that means you've got to let him hit for himself here in the 8th inning.
Right back it goes to Vasquez, and that'll do it. 8 innings, and it's Atlanta 8, St. Louis nothing.
It's been all blue today. Brad Thompson going to get his 3rd inning of work in. Gave up a run in that 8th inning.
And Reed Gurecki will lead it off, the 28-year-older from Queens in the Bronx, born right near Shea Stadium. He went to the University of Delaware, former Cardinal farmhand, as we mentioned, when he took over in left field. Signed with the Braves as a free agent November of '08. Gurecki's batting .227, has 3 RBIs. Strike from Brad Thompson. Fouled away. You know, Rick, when you think back on this season and the job that Thompson has done, you got to give him a lot of credit, because he's been up and down. He's asked to start, he's asked to relieve, he's whatever it is, there's a strikeout. He has done the job and never complained. Amarin UE presenting our power on performance for the Cardinals, and it was, or not for the Cardinals, it was for the Braves, of course, that double by LaRoche.
Got it started, didn't it?
Yeah, back in the 3rd inning.
But you're right, Brad Thompson has done that not only this year, Jay, but most of his career. He's had to be a guy that could be a reliever and a starter and kind of just come to the park happy every day that he just has a job. And not only has he had to deal with the role change of being a starter and a reliever, but you mentioned the up and down. He's gone up and down a lot to AAA, to the big leagues in his career. And, you know, he's a fiery guy. He doesn't like it. I mean, I don't think anybody would. I think you want to have a solid position on a team, and you want to be a guy that knows his role, but Brad's been the guy that has needed to be flexible.
This is a foul ball, hitting at the base of the wall down there. Boston defeated Tampa Bay at Boston 3-1. Kansas City 7-0 over Cleveland at Cleveland. Detroit 7-2 at Detroit over Toronto. Those are all final scores to report to you. And the Phillies beat the Mets in Philadelphia 5-4. They're in the 6th at Wrigley Field with the Cubs leading the Reds 3-0. The 0-2 pitch, and this one has a chance, and it is gone. That's the 22nd home run of the season for Adam LaRoche, and his 3rd RBI of the afternoon, giving him 67 on the season.
That was an 0-2 pitch to LaRoche. The Cardinals really haven't pitched him very well. They certainly haven't pitched McLeod very well. Another left-hander in this lineup. And it just adds to the Braves' lead.
9-0, 9-12-1 for Atlanta. 0-3-1 for the Redbirds. Here's Escobar.
Terry Pendleton, the hitting coach over there. You know, I used to like him. 0-2 pitch right in the middle half of the plate. I mean, that just was not good location, not where Brad Thompson planned on throwing that 0-2 pitch, I guarantee it.
You know Mr. Pendleton well. I had a nice visit with him here on Friday. Get the feeling he's going to manage somewhere in the big leagues.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
On the ground to Ryan. 2 away.
Terry knows the game. He's a very classy guy, and he's kind of not afraid to tell you what he thinks too, which I think is an important quality of a manager. You know, you can't just be kind of a likable baseball guy. There has to be something in you that just kind of fires the fire that burns in you to kind of help guys get better. And sometimes you have to get in their face. Sometimes you have to coddle them. Sometimes you have to teach them. But you got to care about them getting better. And I think Terry's that kind of guy.
And certainly he has been able, I'm sure, to learn a great deal from Mr. Bobby Cox.
Oh, no doubt about that. The first thing you have to learn when you become a coach is people that you coach are not going to like you. Not everybody. And I tell you, when you become a coach as a former player, you're used to being connected with the team in a certain way, and you've got to give that up. You've got to realize that some of those guys you're going to send down. You're going to make decisions on guys that I don't think this guy can play, or I'm not sure this guy has the right fit in our club, and you know, you're going to make some enemies that way.
2-2 to Kelly Johnson, who is 2 for 4 on the afternoon. Out to Ryan. That'll do it. The home run by Adam LaRoche. 9-0 Atlanta. Cellular. U.S. Cellular, believe in something better. And by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. To the bottom of the ninth, 9-0.
Skip Schumacher leading it off. He was one of the keys to the game, that he would have a good 1-2 punch along with Brendan Ryan. They've only been up 3 times. Hitting in the 9th inning tells you that Vasquez has really handled the rest of the lineup. Skip is 2 for 3, 2 of the 3 Cardinal hits.
And this a little outside.
And these are the keys. Carp's skills as a stopper, well, they weren't here today. He just had a rough outing. The 1-2 punch has been so-so, but the attack in force, the middle of the Cardinal lineup, has been dormant. 0 for 9, Pujols, Holiday, and Ludwig. And you throw in Rasmus and DeRosa to follow. That is 0 for 15 from those guys, so they have not been able to bunch hits at all, and that's why it's a 9-0 Braves lead.
That catches the corner. The Cardinals will go to 84-60 on the season with this loss. The Braves to 75-68. One ball and 2 strikes.
Are you predicting a Cardinal loss, Jay?
I am.
I'm thinking 7 bloops, a walk, and a blast.
Nice play by Thurston, who's been swinging the bat a little better. He's on the on-deck circle. One ball and 2 strikes. There's a shot into right center.
Bloop number 1.
Time now to name our player of the game.
That was just the 84th, 85th pitch for Javier Vasquez. He is our Budweiser great player of the game. Through 8 innings, he's given up just 4 hits now, 3 of them to Skip Schumacher, and he has been in control throughout. Chance to have a complete game shutout with less than 100 pitches.
And here is Thurston as the pinch hitter. Line drive into right. Well, the first 2 have reached. Mentioned that Thurston has been swinging the bat much better. He's 2 for 2 in this series.
That wasn't exactly a bloop, Jay, but I said 7 bloops, a walk, and a home run, and we're 2/7 of the way through the hits. Pretty good pitch location on this pitch. The reaction of both the pitcher and the catcher to that location is rebounding. They both jump at the same time. They're trying to jump for the second baseman, Johnson.
Here's Albert, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. That's inside. They are stirring in the Braves bullpen, but nobody is throwing.
I like having a catcher behind the plate that cares enough to help the second baseman jump on a line drive. You know he's trying to get this shutout for his pitcher.
Albert hits it into left. And the bases are going to be loaded. 3 singles.
All right.
And the faithful, who have stayed around for this 9th inning with the Birds down 9-0. Love them on their feet.
Line drive off the bat of Pujols. Gurecki could hardly have been playing deeper. That was almost just an F7 right there, but by playing deep, really allows that base hit from Albert and allows the Cardinals to have the bases loaded with Holiday at the plate.
Holiday 0 for 3.
Surely some team has scored 10 runs in the bottom of the 9th and won 10-9. Somewhere in history.
One ball and 1 strike. And the Braves have a right-hander now throwing in the pen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Schumacher at third. Thurston out there at second. Pujols at first. If you're just joining us, it's 9-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the 9th inning. To the right side. 2 runs will score. RBIs number 44 and 45 for Holiday. 4 hits in a row.
That'll bring out Roger McDowell, pitching coach for Atlanta, to talk to his starting pitcher as Matt Holliday takes his high fastball the other way. Cardinals have all of a sudden figured out Vasquez here in the 9th inning, and now the decision for Bobby Cox is how long do you go with it? The shutout is gone. He's pitched pretty well. I would say you just wouldn't go much longer with him.
That's Medlin, the right-hander, 54, and O'Flaherty, the left-hander, 34 in the pen.
You have to almost say this is his last batter no matter what. 92 pitches now. He's only thrown 24 balls. Not 68 strikes, 24 out of the strike zone.
Ludwig puts it out to the shortstop, and they are able to turn the double play, even though they almost botched it up. 6-4-3 double play.
You talked about the hands of Escobar.
Yeah.
And he is pretty nifty with the glove. On this tough hop here, he's able to backhand it. And a throw in the dirt is handled by first baseman as Holliday introduces himself to Mr. Johnson.
And here is Rasmus, who has struck out twice or 3 times and now lines out to win the game. So that's going to do it as the Atlanta Braves come through with the sweep. 9 runs on 12 hits and 1